Hi guys, good afternoon or good morning, I should say. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is the weekly forecast for the underpinning energy for July 11th, Sunday from July 11th to the 17th, which is Saturday of this coming week. It is each of these cards is going to represent maybe a day or two or three for you. I do speak in broad terms, so you have to figure out where this reading best fits in your life and how. And then from there, utilize your best judgment while working with it. Please check the drop-down menu in any of my daily videos so that you can understand a little bit about sort of how to support the channel, things I want you to think about when utilizing my readings, and there's just general information in there that I'd like you to read if you're going to hang out and be around the channel. And then if you're seeing this on a date that falls outside of those dates, that's completely fine. There might be something in this message that applies to you in the moment that you're seeing it. So trust that. That's certainly part of the intention of these readings. They're not necessarily solely set for the date that they're created. So let's get into this. And please feel free to leave me a question or comment. Hit the thumbs up sign. Subscribe to the channel. All of those things are great ways of supporting the channel, and I really appreciate them. So please feel free to do so. And let's see what the cards want us to know. Okay, so our beginning week of the our beginning card of the week, our beginning week of the card, our beginning card of the week is the Three of Earth, which is raspberry. One of my, probably actually maybe my favorite fruit in the world. So raspberries have that sweetness to them, but they're also kind of tart, which I love that. They make your mouth kind of pucker. They're great. They're full of antioxidants, right? So they're really healthy for you. The Three of Earth would be the Three of Pentacles, which is about kind of hard work and collaboration, but it usually being successful, coming together with others, appreciating others or what others have to offer, and also appreciating what we have, working together to sort of bring forth whatever it is we need, right? Generally, Pentacles is going to be around money, material things, work, that kind of a thing. But wherever we can find collaboration in the early part of this week, pay attention to that, because I think that it's going to be, obviously with this idea of it being represented by raspberries, to me, it makes me think of, it being bountiful. There's like certainly three baskets here being harvested, and the sweetness of the raspberries to me make me think that this is usually the Three of Pentacles is always a good card anyways. It always indicates like a success of some sort coming together through, collaborating basically. But to me, I feel like this is going to be a very sweet success, obviously, because we've got this representation of raspberries. Let's not do that right now. I'm live on camera, so we don't want to bark. So think about that, or look for those opportunities. The other thing with the Three of Pentacles that is sort of an underlying message is that we have some sort of special skill, gift. Okay, apparently there's different rules for the puppy today. We have a special skill or gift that we need to bring to the table to help complete a project, right? Or to help give a different twist or perspective on something that may bring about the harvest, completion, abundance that we see here in this card, right? So not only appreciating ourselves, but also others is a key component of this card too. Seeing the skill set within ourselves and those around us, and then putting those skill sets together in the right way so that they can be harmonious and work well together. So there's an opportunity here for forward movement, last week's readings were all about that internal wisdom, figuring out some part of ourselves, or at least that was sort of like the gist of the messages that I was getting, trusting that. Again, it was this earth energy that we see here in this Three of Earth. So to me, I feel like there might be some sort of transition where we're going through, where we're beginning to trust ourselves or understand ourselves in a deeper, better way, appreciate ourselves in a deeper, better way. This is the practical application where we take that appreciation, that awareness, that understanding, and put it to work, right? Put it to not to the test, because that's not the right way to phrase it, but I want to say to the test, but actually put it out there and let others utilize it with their own truths, right? And then what comes from that? You know, what's the opportunities that stem out of that? Does that make sense? Through that collaboration. So the next card is the midweek card, and this is the Wheel of Fortune. Now this is kitchen garden, and what I like about this is there's all different kinds of herbs and things in this circle here. And with the Wheel of Fortune is associated with the sign of Sagittarius, which is still that fire energy, but it's also it's more mutable, right? We saw a lot of fire energy in last week's readings, a lot of Leo energy, which we're getting ready to enter into Leo season. The Wheel of Fortune to me is about opportunities opening up to us, being aware of that through this Three of Pentacles in the early part of the week, and then really honoring that and being open and receptive to whatever is out there for us is going to be quite possibly our focus this week. I do feel like the Wheel of Fortune will give us exactly whatever, we are open to, if that makes sense. If we're stuck in a place of pessimism, annoyance, whatever, we're not necessarily going to be able to see the opportunities that are being put out towards us. We might actually see things as setbacks. We might only see I sometimes think that the Wheel of Fortune can work that way. The Wheel of Fortune moves kind of slowly in a way too, right? Where there might be some patience. Pieces have to fall together. Some of the pieces that we see in the Three of Earth or the Three of Pentacles could be that collaboration between yourself and others, or other components in your environment need to kind of fall together and work together so that we can get to this midweek shift that will be in our favor if we, honor it, have gratitude for it, are aware of it, remain open to it, and it will have a large impact. The sign of Sagittarius is it's associated also with the planet Jupiter, which is very benefic. It's about blessings and sort of gifts, right? And expansion in that way, understanding maybe a little bit better who we are and what we offer and what we deserve and what's out there for us, and then being receptive to it. I love that the kitchen garden card here has a little bit of everything within it, right? So not only could we be receiving a lot of different opportunities or options in front of us through all of these different herbs that are depicted here, but it's also like we have access to a lot of different maybe skills or areas within ourselves that we might be able to either uncover or learn about or teach ourselves to help us to expand whatever it is that we're working towards, on, or for. Does that make sense? And I know that these are really broad terms, but each one of you is going to be going through something maybe different or working towards something different. So I don't want to get necessarily too specific. And the Wheel of Fortune is probably one of the most, in my opinions, that in sort of judgment are two of the most sort of expansive cards, right? In the sense that the Wheel of Fortune is kind of like the universe working in the background in our favor and trying to give us exactly what we need from this sort of kitchen garden of all of this myriad of different healing plants or different options. How we choose to play them, how we choose to work with them, how we choose to honor them or have gratitude for them is really up to us. And if we choose not to see them or stay caught up in the minutia of what's not working and where things aren't falling into place, we could miss the opportunities that are happening around us. So this card lets us know there is lots of opportunity this week in both of these cards, right? So let's look at the last card for the end of the week. And we've got the Hee-Ha of Air, which is catnip, right? Okay, I don't know anything about catnip other than that cats absolutely love it. And it gets them kind of high. I'll have to ask my friend Beth about catnip. But the Hee-Ha of air is going to be similar to the Page of Swords. And that's usually our little private investigator. That's the one of the deck that wants to sort of inspect things a little bit more, learn a little bit more. The Hee-Ha card being the indicative of the page always is this indication of there's room to learn, there's room to grow, right? There's room to be taught. There's something new on the horizon. The pages can also be bringing messages to us. So, and sometimes I believe that those messages come to us through the actual learning that the page kind of represents or facilitates in our life. So air would be that of the area of our mental space, right? And our thoughts, our words, written contracts, anything of that nature. So we might find ourselves learning new ways of thinking, new ways of seeing things, investigating new ways of opening our mind because of the Wheel of Fortune and the collaboration we have earlier in this week. There could be new opportunities for us being presented to us in the early and midweek that we then have to start to move forward towards mentally in our mind. We may not necessarily know exactly what steps to take, but that's kind of the excitement of the Hee-Ha card or the page cards, is that you kind of have to throw caution to the wind, be daring, be open and willing to learn, and there's a little bit of, to me sometimes with the pages, there's a little bit of I want to say edginess. I don't know if that's the correct way to define it, but there is this idea of living a little bit on the edge because you're kind of more in the present moment than you would be, say, if you were king, queen, or even the knight, right? Because those court cards are a bit more established in knowing what their roles are, who they are, how to handle things. They have a bit more wisdom in the area that they're working within. Where the pages here, or the Hee-Ha's, they're younger. This is a newer experience for them, right? The catnip, to me, now that I'm thinking about it, even though I don't know a whole lot about catnip, but the fact that cats love it, and I think that it kind of gets them a little buzzed and high, and they feel happy, that sort of indicates to me, also coupled with the raspberries that we see early in the week because of my love of raspberries, to me, I would interpret this as it's going to be a beneficial week. Catnip, not like we're going to get high. I mean, some of you might. I certainly know that there's one of my viewers out there is probably stoned right now. But what I mean is that this change of thought, this opportunity to learn, the catnip representation could mean that it could be quite pleasing to our brain. It could be quite pleasing, although it might be different than how we normally perceive a situation or how we normally attack a situation through our thoughts. It could offer us a little bit of a respite or a break, maybe a mental vacation in a way, as we learn to give ourselves the opportunity to sort of believe in ourselves, reap the benefits, rethink our thoughts in a way, or rechannel our energies in a way by the end of the week that is still setting us up, I think, for further success in the weeks to come. I really don't think that this just sort of stops. To me, the Page of Air, or this Hee-Ha of Air, says that there's investigative work to be done. There's, things to be sort of looked into, studied, learned about. And I think that with that Wheel of Fortune behind it, the Wheel of Fortune, because there's a level of patience and like sort of an expansiveness to the Wheel of Fortune, it does feel like we're working on something that might be ongoing for a little while. Does that make sense? Right? It's not like I still get this feeling that we're learning or shifting towards where we need to go, or what's out there to us that wasn't otherwise present or available, that we weren't aware was there. Does that make sense? That's all of this Hee-Ha energy too. Mind you, we saw the Hee-Ha of earth and of fire last week. And so there's a lot of this kind of new, receptive, ideally exuberant energy that we should be hopefully learning from, embracing, paying attention to, allowing it to sort of lighten our experience and make us sort of more flexible. That's the thing too with the Page of Swords is that there's an investigation going on, right? There's something that we're looking at maybe more mentally, trying to figure out, understand, learn about. This could be within ourselves, within a situation, within somebody around us. But whatever it is that we're doing, in that ability to want to learn more about it, we're opening ourselves up to it, right? Where there's a flexibility there. There's a potential optimism that should be placed there, which I feel like is also in that Three of Pentacles and in the Wheel of Fortune, that we want to maintain and keep this week. And I think that it could very well carry over into next week. I don't know why, but I kind of get this feeling that this is not just a short-term reading here. This is going to maybe go a little bit bleeding into next week or maybe into the rest of this month as far as where we're sort of positioning ourselves. Like that wheel to me feels like it's still going to continue to move us as we do this. So remain teachable, remain optimistic, and remain open to new ways of thought, that feel pleasurable, right? I.e. that catnip, what makes us, what puts us in a state of relaxation or in a state of more ease in our life, right? What even if it's something as simple as like daydreaming, right? Allow yourself to maybe daydream a little bit about where you might want to be and how that might feel for you. And coupled with these two cards here, we might very much be able to move ourselves in that direction without a whole lot of effort, a whole lot of struggle. So the last card is card number 7. This is from the Fairy Medicine Oracle. And this card is Rainbow Healing, which I'll take it. I love that because the rainbow to me makes me think of this kitchen garden, right? This whole plethora of different herbs and colors, plants and flowers, right? All of it included in there. In the rainbow, we have all of the different sort of colors of the aura. So I like that there's this kind of smorgasbord going on throughout this reading. But the Rainbow Healing to me, it's card number 7, and 7s to me always are about that conscious choice that we have to sort of make, go after, turn towards. We have to take ownership of it to sort of lead us from the 6 into the number 8 and the vibration of 8, which brings us back to sort of the state of balance and harmony. This says, allow yourself to receive a blessing of healing, clear and balance your energy. Right? So what I like about that, as far as the receiving the blessing, that to me is the Wheel of Fortune in the midweek. And I like that the clear and balance your energy, to me, it's almost opposite of what the cards are saying. I feel like the clearing of the energy is almost like the Three of Pentacles, where it's like that earth energy to me is where we ground into it, we use it practically with discernment, we own it, right? That would be sort of the clearing aspect. And then the, what does it say? Clear and balance. The balancing to me is more that Hiha of air, where we're rebalancing it because we're learning new aspects of thought for ourselves that are more pleasurable. But that kind of is that clear and balanced sort of thing that I feel like is going on in this card. I think that there's something going on here that allows us to not only shift our thoughts or shift our trajectory, our course, I think that we've been working on this even in last week's readings too. I think that this carries over. Now we're seeing a little bit of the kind of, if everything was internal last week, this is where it starts to begin to get external. There is some internal aspects to this, especially with that Hiha of air, but I feel like we're taking steps through that Three of Pentacles, and then the Wheel of Fortune is actually the environment or situations around us trying to move in our favor or shift us towards something new. And in that shift, we have to sort of expand our thoughts or learn new thinking through this Hiha of air. All of this coupled together as we consciously choose it through that number 7 brings about this sort of rainbow healing where we get a whole new, maybe relationship to ourselves, our energy system, and we get to sort of, not only clear it, right, which would be sort of owning it, grounding it, and understanding where it's at, and maintaining it, but also balancing it and bringing in what we need to maintain that balance, and that would be that Hiha of air. Here is the grounding stone for the week. It is desire. Now, desire is a word that I always associate more with the spirit and the suit of wands, but I think that this really is a time where we need to think about what is it that we truly, truly want. Not just, and want is never a way, it's not really the best word to describe desire, because to me, desire, it often gets used in, in a sexual sort of connotation, but I don't necessarily feel like that's its only realm where it should be used. I think that it also taps into what we want at a very deep, profound, sort of maybe even spiritual or subconscious level of where we want to be in our world, how we want our world to feel for us, what we truly, truly want at the core of our being. And I think that might be the focus for us this week. And then as we focus on that, we need to put practical steps into action through that Three of Wands. We need to allow the universe to kind of honor us and give us the opportunities to move towards whatever that desire might be, and to receive and consciously choose the healing that comes along with making this shift or this commitment to ourselves above all else. And this isn't something that's being selfish. It's about, how do I want to say this? It's almost like this is why we came to the fucking planet, right? We didn't come to the planet so that we can make everybody else happy and then drop dead. So, and then the Hiha of air is about shifting, and I'm not saying go out and make people unhappy either. I'm just saying that there's something about putting ourselves first and learning how to think that way, learning how to get comfortable and take pleasure in indulgent. It's not even an indulgent thing. It's what we need to be doing, I think, at some level. And so, grounding in that desire and that innate understanding that this is what I want. These are the steps I need to take. These are the opportunities that are being given to me. And consciously being aware of them, choosing them, being grateful for them, and moving towards them throughout this week is going to be important. It will require us to expand our mind and the way we perceive things or look at things or think about things. But in doing that, we're going to find that change in perception will be ultimately enlightening and pleasurable at the end of all of this. I hope that makes sense. And there should be something that presents us with this sort of rainbow healing or this balancing and clearing of our energy that we need at this time. So that is your forecast. I hope you guys understand it, and I hope it makes sense to you. I hope you can apply it somewhere. If you can and you enjoyed the reading, please hit the thumbs up button, share the reading with whoever you'd like, and leave me a comment. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow to see how this all builds. Take care. Bye-bye.